There's a recipe for a strong, independent, accomplishing leader. That's a woman. And as I experience this Women's History Month, I think about a few women that always inspire me. There are a lot, but I'm going to talk about 3 today. One of those women is my soror, the great Shirley Chisholm. When I think about what she did in the early 70s to have the audacity to run for the president of the United States in that time, given who she was, I can't help but smile. It inspires me every time I think about it. I am sure she had a lot of people that said, "Oh, you can't do that." I am sure she had a lot of people that said, "They're going to kill you on the spot." I am sure she had well-meaning people who were putting all of their fears and concerns onto her. But nevertheless, she shook them all off. She knew that even though she might not win, she would set a precedence that she would be an inspiration to some other woman decades later to have the audacity to run. And guess what? She will be the inspiration for some woman who will have the audacity to run, who will finally win. She is such an inspiration for so many reasons, and she is a model for me about using your voice and the power of her voice. She opened so many doors, she paved so many paths, and she continues, even in her absence today, to be an inspiration to women all over the world. Another lady that inspires me, and I quote her all the time, is the great Billie Jean King. Now, my mother's name was Billie, and that was one of the real things that put Billie Jean King on the radar for me, because my mother was also an athlete. She was a track star, she was a basketball star, and I remember back in the 70s and 80s when Billie Jean King was competing every single time they showed her on TV, everything else stopped in my household and we were watching her do her thing. But again, the thing that she also had in common with the great Shirley Chisholm was using her voice. The power of her voice made all the difference for women's sports and the compensation that women receive today and all the changes that have happened around Title IX. Again, your voice is at the heart of your power, and your voice cannot be submerged if you want to make an impact on the world. Because of her, she inspired so many other female tennis players. Because of her, women have a shot of getting equity at the end of the day with men tennis players. Women are now getting paid a lot more money than they were getting paid when she was competing as a professional athlete. She continues to inspire me because I always think of that quote that she used all the time: pressure is a privilege. And then the last woman who inspires me today is one of my contemporaries, and that is Nelly Galan. She wrote the book Self-Made. She is an author, she is a TV producer, she is an actress, and she is another woman that regularly uses her voice on behalf of all women. In her book Self-Made, she gives the playbook of how you can become self-made. She gives people the tools of the trade on finding wealth, around finding a career that will fulfill you, about articulating and exercising your voice in rooms where there are a lot of people that don't look like you. I've had the privilege of spending time with Nelly and being on her podcast and having many, many conversations with her. And every time we get together, we find ourselves as kindred spirits, and we find ourselves talking about things that are empowering, frankly, to each other. So as we all experience this Women's History Month, I'm going to ask you to take inspiration from the women in your life, or the women that you've learned about, or the women that you've read about, or the women that are around you today, and use that to inspire you, to motivate you, to be a better woman. Go get 'em.